basketball court, courtesy of Old Sneakers. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Tuesday night edition of the Sports Channel Report. I'm Lance McAllister.
And I'm Steve Kashul. You know, the Cubs are still alive for the wild card berth in the National League, but only by the skin of their teeth. Going into tonight's game against the Cardinals at Wrigley Field, Cubs were 5 back with 6 games remaining. But it's not over till it's over, right? Just ask this super fan. Cards did score first in this one. Scott Cooper up in the third. No score. He's going to send one into the night air off Cubs starter Steve Traxel. This one's gone. His third homer of the year. Cardinals went up 1-0. As for Steve Traxel's next pitch, whoop, high and tight to Danny Schaefer. Schaefer didn't like that, but hey, that's baseball, right? Scott Service flashing the signs of Traxel in the fourth. I don't know if that's the pitch they wanted. But Ray Langford liked it, his 25th homer, 2-0 St. Louis Cardinals. Bottom of the fifth now, Howard Johnson on at first. Mike Morgan, the former Cub, delivering to Mark Grace. Sends it into the bleachers in right field. We were tied at 2, number 15 for Grace. 6th inning, Bernard Gilkey at the plate. He didn't get a hit this time. He's going to go down swinging as Traxel saved the best for last, and it was still 2-2. Bottom 7 now. Cubs break the tie. Jose Hernandez on at second. Scott Bullitt drives one into the gap in right center. Hernandez scores easily. Bullitt showing his speed, racing all the way to third with a triple, putting the Cubs up 3-2. Cubs hold on and win by that margin, 3-2. Randy Myers with his 37th save. Cubs are still alive in the wild card hunt.
While the Cubs' playoff chances are remote, the Houston Astros are as real as any teams these days. 8 wins in their last 11 games have produced a renewed wild card pulse in Houston. The Astros just a game back of Colorado for the wild card as they hosted Pittsburgh tonight. Too bad just 10,000 fans caught the fever last night in the Astrodome. How about the scene tonight from the Dome? Let's take a look. A little bit better tonight, and it's been a tough year for the former Cub, Rick Wilkins. Minding his own business in the bullpen, warming up a catcher, gets whacked by a foul ball from Orlando Merced. Picking up scoreless in the 5th, Brian Hunter delivers the chopper. Carlos Garcia will charge field and boot it. Believe it or not, that goes as an infield hit. Craig Shipley scores. 1-0 Astros. Next batter, Greg Biggio, the tapper right here. Bucks forced to eat it again. James Mouton scores. 2-0 Astros. Then the D takes over for Houston. Watch Craig Shipley climb the ladder right here at third. Up to get it. Then the bullpen takes over. Dave Barris, bases loaded, 8th inning, facing Jay Bell. Gassed to blow him away. It stayed that way. The Astros are rolling. 9 wins in their last 12 games, make it 4 straight. They beat the Bucks 2-0 the final from the Dome. We head west for the Rockies and the Dodgers in that showdown series, game 2 of their series. Don Baylor and the Rockies trying to get back in first place. Something new for the Dodgers in the first. Some D. Eric Karros flashing the leather. It's a nice pick and the flip to Tom Candiotti. 2nd inning, the Dodgers get on the board. Raul Mondesi steps to the plate, smacks one to left center field. It drops off Brett Saberhagen. Delano DeShields scores 1-0. What happens when a knuckleball doesn't knuckle? This. Larry Walker gets rid of one from Tom Candiotti. That is number 33 of the season, even at 1 apiece. Let's check it out from the West Coast. They are moving to the 4th in this showdown series, even at 1 game apiece. As for the up-to-date wild card standings, to the moment, with the Rockies still playing, the Astros a half game back. If the Rockies lose, the Astros would tie them in the wild card race, and the Cubs would pull within 4 games. Steve?
When you're in the position the White Sox are, meaning out of the playoff picture and just trying to play out the rest of the schedule, you have to look for other means of motivation. Fortunately, guys like Lance Johnson and Frank Thomas are trying to win selective batting titles, while the rookies are just trying to show they belong in the big leagues. Tonight it was the Sox and Royals in Kansas City, and Sox had quite a first inning. Robin Ventura singles to center, scoring Tim Raines. That put Chicago up 2-0. Then 2 batters later, Doug Brady is going to hit a double down the right field line, his first major league double. That allows Dave Martinez and Robin Ventura to score. Sox at a 4-0 lead. Sox keep banging out hits in the first. Ron Karkovic smacks one that rolls to the wall in left field. Brady comes around to score. 5-0 Chicago, and one more for good measure. Oh, that crack of the bat. Ozzie Guillen back up the middle. Karkos scores. 10 men come to bat for the White Sox in the first. They took a 6-0 lead, and when Alex Hernandez has that lead to work with, well, he just has to throw, and there He gets Tom Goodwin there, Joe Vitiello. Good night for the White Sox, and Hawk doing the birdie dance. Yeah, you can dance when the Sox win like this. 7-0, Alex Hernandez going the distance. Alex now 7-0 in his last 10 starts. The Sox continue with their final road trip of the season with Game 2 of this 3-game series against the Royals tomorrow. We're going to have it right here on Sports Channel. Our coverage begins at 7 p.m. Later in the show, we're going to check into the entire American League wild card race with highlights of the Mariners, Angels, and the Yankees.
Steve, the story on the ice tonight finds the Blackhawks knowing their way to San Jose. The Blackhawks visiting the Sharks for the start of a busy week. They'll play 5 of the next 6 nights. There's no TV for this one, so let's check out the score early in this one. Sharks have already put 2 on the board, lead 2-0 in the first. Blackhawks will get down to business for real 1 week from Saturday. Season opener right here on Sports Channel. It's October 7th. Pregame starting at 9 o'clock. Blackhawks against the Sharks.
Time again for our nightly online trivia question. We all know, or should know by now, the Cubs' Frank Castillo pitched 8 2/3 no-hit innings last night in the Cubs' win. But can you name the only Cubs pitcher to hurl 2 no-hitters with the Northsiders? Email us at screport@aol.com. We'll look through the responses and see if you know the correct answer. We're going to have that one later in the show. Still to come as the report rolls on for a Tuesday night. Bears Nightly and a little fan appreciation. We go to lunch with Chris Zorich and hear about plans for the bye week. Plus, we'll take in some Hitchcock as the Yanks try to stay wild. And later, it's got to be the shoes. We'll see how your old sneakers are becoming a brand new basketball court in Chicago. Keep it here.
Sox travel to Kansas City to battle the Royals. Live tomorrow night at 7, right here on Sports Channel.
Hey. What Sox fans want.
10 years ago, they put the pieces together and won it all. Now you can do it every day. 1985 meet 1995. It's the Chicago Sun-Times Super Bear Reunion Contest. Win $10,000 every week, a grand prize trip to the Pro Bowl in Hawaii, and collect a Super Bear color poster every Sunday. Free. Watch history repeat itself every day in the Chicago Sun-Times.
The preceding arguments for sliding doors on both sides were brought to you courtesy of the new Dodge Caravan. Just as original as the original.
Coming up this Saturday, we have more college football on the channel. Once again, it's Pac-10 action live at 5:30. The California Bears take on the Arizona Wildcats. Then at 10, Bears Nightly and the Sports Channel report. It may not be time for midterms on most college campuses, but for Notre Dame's football team, a major test awaits them this Saturday. On this Lou Tuesday, the focus is how to beat the number 7 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Mark Pinsky is in South Bend.
The Ohio State Buckeyes are undefeated. They're ranked 7th in the country, averaging over 40 points and 525 yards per game. Now they get a chance to play the most famous football team in the country, Notre Dame.
The stars are made when they play Notre Dame because people come and they play their hearts out.
Ohio State already has 3 stars. Quarterback Bobby Hoying is rated the nation's 3rd best quarterback.
He can run, he can throw, he uses mind in the game.
He's good, talented, and experienced.
Scrambler, won't get rattled, and competitor.
Running back Eddie George is averaging 144 yards per game on the ground.
He's a thoroughbred, great runner.
He's a Heisman candidate, and he's a powerhouse. He's fast, and he's a strong back.
Big, hard runner, and big.
Wide receiver Terry Glenn is the #1 pass catcher in the country. He caught 4 touchdowns in the Buckeyes win over Pitt.
Fast, able to catch, and one of the best receivers we'll face all year.
fast, good hands, and playmaker.
Notre Dame comes into this game on a roll, averaging 44 points per game and winning 3 in a row. They're ready to go to war against Ohio State.
It's time to go out and, play, show everybody in the nation, all eyes on the nation be on this game, and it's time to show everybody in the nation that Notre Dame football is here to stay.
This is only the third meeting between Ohio State and Notre Dame. They met 60 years ago in Columbus in a game that is known as the greatest in the first 50 years of the 20th century.
We're not making this out to be in the game of the century, but we're certainly not also going to make it out to be just a cakewalk.
On Saturday, Lou Holtz figures to be in the press box. It's a place he's been before. In fact, back in 1968, Holtz was an assistant coach under Woody Hayes on a team that won the national championship.
I haven't been in Columbus Stadium since 1968. We played Michigan. Scored with about a minute to go, went for 2. Was down, if you're in the press box, in the right end zone. Remember it like it was yesterday, and we made it to beat Michigan 50-14. And they asked Coach Hayes why he went for 2, and he said they wouldn't let me go for 3.
So Saturday's game has it all. A top 10 team, the rich tradition of Notre Dame, and the renewal of a matchup not seen in 60 years. The question is, will the Fighting Irish be ready?
Best believe it. Best believe it. You'll see. You'll see.
From South Bend, I'm Mark Pinsky for the Sports Channel Reports.
Now to Bears Nightly, and the Bears get one day a week to themselves, but every Tuesday a couple of them opt to give up a day of freedom and spend the day getting up close and personal with the fans at the weekly Bears Luncheon. Laura Oakman was there.
So many times fans and media and people are like, they envision, like, sports celebrities, or whether it be like actors and stars and stuff, like, there's people that aren't like real, and I'm just here to show that, and basically I'm just another person.
But for these fans, it's not just about autographs and shaking these guys' hands. Some of these questions get pretty tough. Like, how do you respond to critics who say your defensive line is too small?
I don't care what anybody says about our defensive line. I know the people who play on both sides of me. I know the people who have that defensive line, they've worked very hard for it. I know about Clarence Brooks, our defensive line coach. We are all people that want to go out and give 100% each play.
Or why not have a 2-quarterback system?
Because the quarterback, see, they have fragile egos. These guys, I'm telling you, they do. I'm telling you. Hey, you got to treat those guys sensitive. They're like little babies. I'm telling you, the guy, not ours in particular, but
But usually the guests do behave and try to stay on their toes.
I've been called witty and not quick on my feet. Whatever someone comes with, I'm usually able to come back with.
The reason why I feel is I'm living every fan's dream, because I was a fan, and when the Bears won the Super Bowl in '85, I was outside in front of Daily Plaza, freezing my butt off, hanging on the light post, giving them cheers and waves and everything. And for me to be a part of it is just an unbelievable experience.
But that's not the only unbelievable experience Chris has had as a Bear at one of these luncheons.
I've had a woman ask me to autograph her nylons, and she had them on, so I was kind of like, wow. But other than that, it's nothing that crazy.
And did you do it?
I think I did, yeah.
Well, today's lunch wasn't quite so leggy, but the fans did get a bare-bone assessment of where this Bear team stands. With Bears Nightly, I'm Laura Oakman for the Sports Channel Report.
Bears Luncheon highlights right after the report, and don't forget, this is the place to find out first who's on top in high school football. Every Friday night we'll have scores and highlights, and on Sunday night's show you can catch the first release of the Sports Channel Sun Times Super 25 poll, and for more in-depth coverage of the poll, check out Monday's Sun Times section. Still to come on the report, the wild card race in the American League. Highlights of the Yankees, Mariners, and Angels.
Later, we're going to see how some old shoes are breathing new life into the inner city.
Today on the Chevy Value Network, we're featuring the 95 Geo Prism, now at the best prices of the year. So, who do we have on the line?
This is Max from Beverly.
Oh, hi, Max.
Hi.
Wow, now isn't that Prism a blast to drive?
It is. My whole family loves it.
Uh-huh.
The optional air conditioning feels pretty good, too.
Oh, I bet. Phew, what a summer.
I know. Oh, hey, can my son Dan say something to you? He's a big fan.
Oh, sure. Isn't that cute? Hi, Dan. How old are you, Danny? Isn't that adorable?
When I started working at my current job, I just didn't quite get along with my boss. He saw me wearing my Sox pin. He couldn't believe I was a Sox fan, and I think he was a little impressed with that I was really watching these games and knew what was going on. But I knew everything was really going well when one day a friend of his had given him tickets to a White Sox game, so he invited my husband and myself to go with him to that game, and we just had a great time together, and things at work have been going well ever since.
It's Touchdown Saturday on Sports Channel. The Virginia Tech Hokies invade Pittsburgh to tackle the Panthers in a Big East clash at 11. Then at 5, California battles Pac-10 rival Arizona. 2 big games, 1 great day. Saturday on Sports Channel. What college football fans...
Get ready, less than a month until the Schoolyard Jam. It's our all-new show by high schoolers, about high schoolers, and for high schoolers. Don't miss it, Friday, October 13th, starting at 6:30. Back to baseball now, and while the Milwaukee Brewers have dropped off the deep end, losing 20 of their last 26, the New York Yankees have put pedal to metal and won 6 of 7 to take over the AL's wild card spot. The two met tonight in Milwaukee, with the Yankees trying to further distance themselves from the field. Take a look at it. Donnie Baseball trying to make the postseason for the first time in his career. Donnie showing you why he's a Gold Glover. Watch him go get this one. Out, and then over the shoulder to make the grab. That's a pretty play. Later in the second, Derek Jeter, fine young shortstop, goes to the track with one. Bounces off the wall. Bernie Williams rolls around third and comes home. 1-0 Yankees. Third inning, more offense from the Yanks. Randy Velarde steps to the plate. Inside outs one to right. Matt Mieske will misplay it. Wade Boggs and misplay it very badly. Wade Boggs on a bad hamstring. Limps all the way home. He could have crawled after that one. It was 2-0 Yankees. Get in there, Wade. There he is, 2-0. Paul O'Neill adds 2 more to it when he yanks one out. Number 21 of the year. Yankees on top 4-0. Brewers weren't done. They tried to cut into it and did when B.J. Surhoff steps to the plate. Takes one from Sterling Hitchcock and proceeds to get rid of it. That's gone. 2-run shot. Cut it to 4-2. It would not be enough on this night in Milwaukee. Despite the antics of the fans in the stands, they could only pound their head in the end. Yankees win it 5-4. The final score, Sterling Hitchcock picks up win number 10. Steve?
That's what happens in Beer Town. Magic number in Seattle Mariners. 2 phrases that until this year have been mutually exclusive. But today, the Mariners' magic number for winning the AL West is down to 3. This afternoon, the Mariners defeat the California Angels 10-2, increasing their divisional lead by a full 3 games. The Angels have completely gone in the tank, while the Mariners are seeking their destiny. Bottom 3, M's up 1-0. Edgar Martinez singles to right. Tim Salmon fields it. Throws to the plate. Junior coming home. He is safe. 2-0 Seattle Mariners. Still in the third, Jay Buhner singles past the diving Tony Phillips at third. To throw will go to second, so Edgar Martinez scores. M's lead 3-0. And yes, the crowd was on their feet. In the fourth, 4-0, Ken Griffey Jr. hits it high and deep to right center. This one's a goner. What happened to that center fielder? Junior's 16th homer, 5-0. Seattle goes on to win 10-2. Yes, California taking the dive. The M's can clinch a tie for the AL West title with a win over the Angels on Wednesday. The Halos have now lost 10 of their last 11 and 28 of their last 37 ball games. And it looks like the best the Angels can now do is win the 4th overall playoff spot, which is the AL wild card. But now they're a game and a half behind the New York Yankees. Texas, winning right now, remains 4 behind the Yanks. Let's go to the American League scores. Boston beats Detroit 5-1. Zane Smith won his first game since September 2nd. Toronto is shut out by Baltimore 5-0. Mike Mussina with his 18th win. Cleveland and Minnesota, Albert Bell, home run number 47. But look at this, Minnesota clubs them. Final 13-4. Mark McGwire, home run. It's number 37 and 38, but Texas leading, as I said, 7-5 right now in the 9th inning. National League, Montreal beats Florida. Final there, 5-4. John Smoltz earns his first win over Philadelphia in 5 years. Atlanta over the Philadelphia Phillies 5-1. Cincy and New York postponed due to rain. They'll play 2 tomorrow. San Diego and San Francisco up in the Bay Area. Right now the Padres leading by 4 in the 4th. And still ahead, the answer to our online trivia question.
And we will see an incredible project that's turning one man's trash into another man's playground. We'll check out Chicago's newest basketball courts and hear from Scottie Pippen when the report returns.
There's one place to go for sports in Chicago where you don't need a ticket. Hey, you don't even need to get out of your car. The Score, Sports Radio 820.
Some people take their animal instincts a little too seriously. The Minnesota Moose and the Los Angeles Ice Dogs. Sunday at 6:30. What hockey fans want.
When it comes to automobiles, there's only one, Bob Roy.
Why is Schaumburg Honda Automobiles the Midwest's largest Honda dealer? Very best service. Only the best receive the Honda Master of Total Customer Satisfaction Award. Largest selection. Unbeatable prices. Magnificent service. Enthusiasm. Our service speaks volumes at Schaumburg Honda Automobiles, just 8 blocks west of Woodfield Mall on Goff Road.
If you're like me, you're just as serious about relaxing as you are business. And at Rialta, they make it easy to do.
A couple of months ago, we told you about a unique program by Nike where old basketball shoes become new basketball courts. Today, that dream became a reality right here in Chicago. Luke Canellis has the story.
This is no basketball court, nor is this a basketball net. But for kids of the Robert Taylor homes, that's exactly what they are. Rundown lots used more by the bad in this world than the good. Enter the people at Nike, along with the city's Youth as Resources program. As part of Nike's Participate in the Lives of America's Youth program, Bull superstar Scottie Pippen and one of the world's best women's basketball players, Cheryl Swoops, today helped unveil a new basketball court in the nation's most impoverished housing development.
A lot of kids here in the inner city don't really get the opportunity to go out and play basketball and enjoy the game, you know, as they really do so love. And this is what Nike is doing with players is wonderful. You know, I'm sure these young kids are going to cherish this moment and cherish this court to be able to come out and play basketball anytime that they want.
I get kind of teary-eyed when I think about this. This just means a lot to me, and I know it really means a lot to these kids. They know that there is somebody out there who cares. You know, I think sometimes they may get down and out and think that no one out there can relate to them. No one understands where they're coming from, but, I mean, I was there.
What Nike did was take old shoes back, then chop them up into little pieces to build what today was a new basketball court on 43rd and Federal.
We have a base coat that is manufactured or made from Nike shoes. Nike shoes entire regrind mix. That produces the base surface. The top surface is a resilient surface, polyurethane surface that gives it a very tough and durable surface for people to play on.
The biggest point Scottie and Cheryl made was that this court isn't only for the big guys, it's for the youths and also the girls.
This court is not only for guys. You know, this is where I got started. I grew up playing with my brothers. I played on an outdoor court, gravel. I mean, we didn't even have a court this nice. You know, we had to play on gravel and rocks, and it was just great. And that's why I just want to encourage all the girls to get out here and play if that's what they want to do.
This basketball court is for everyone, and it should be utilized for everyone. No one should be ran off the court. And I hope that they don't have to go through what I had to go through, is seeing kids getting pushed off the court and the younger kids come out at night and vandalize the court because the older adults won't let them play. So you guys remember that when you run the younger kids off the court, that they got a way of paying you back.
It's something like this that reminds us kids too have rights to an active life, sport, and the pursuit of fun. And now these athletes of tomorrow have a place to chase their dreams of becoming the Pippins and Swoops of today. For the Sports Channel Report, I'm Luke Canellis.
Wow, other sports news, Tampa Bay Bucks wide receiver Alvin Harper is being fined $7,500 for bumping an official in Sunday's Tampa Bay-Washington game. The Boston Garden hosted its final game of any kind tonight as the Boston Bruins met the Montreal Canadiens in a preseason NHL contest. 77-year-old building will be torn down later this year as the Bruins and Celtics get ready to move into their new home, the $160 million Fleet Center. Ironically, the Bruins and Canadiens met in the first hockey game ever played at the Garden, which was back in 1928. The Philadelphia 76ers have signed first-round draft pick Jerry Stackhouse from the University of North Carolina. Deal will be made official tomorrow. Also today, Sixers added another bad boy, signing former Houston Rockets guard Vernon Maxwell. He will wear number 11. Maxwell was brought out by the Rockets after the troubled guard quit the team during the playoffs because he was frustrated with playing time. Maxwell joins Richard Dumas as the new 76er players. Dumas is coming off of drug rehab.
Okay, Steve, it's trivia time again. Earlier in the show, we asked you who was the only Cub pitcher to throw 2 no-hitters. Your answer before your eyes, right there. Kenny Holtzman, 1969 at Wrigley Field. He no-hit the Braves, then did the same to the Cincinnati Reds in 1971. Frank Castillo almost got halfway there last night.
That's right, yeah, missed it by a strike, right? Well, we do have a final in the American League. We were looking at that Texas game. They were leading by 2, 7-5. Texas winds up winning the ball game tonight. The final 7-6, so they stay 3.5 behind the new leaders in the AL wild card, the New York Yankees. Texas now 71-68, 3.5 out. It's going to be quite a race, but something tells me it's either going to be Texas or New York because California's going on the drain.
They've gone off the deep end. And updating in Los Angeles tonight, 5th inning, 2-2, Dodgers and the Rockies in that big make-or-break series for those two teams.
Wow, great stuff.
That is all the time we have for tonight. I'm Lance McAllister.
And I'm Steve Kashul. Remember, White Sox baseball again tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. For everyone here working on the Sports Channel Report, hope you have a great night. See you tomorrow.